Okay, let's look at this, how this addition to the pole barn is turning out here. And if you remember from one of my last videos where I went through and I showed how I was going to frame this addition onto this pole barn, well, now this is how it looks in real life because we basically got it framed as far as we can go until the slab gets poured. So I didn't do the audio because I knew the wind would wreck the audio. So here I am just saying hi, and I got this ugly winter beard on because it's cold and I'm waiting for it to warm up and shave that and share my pretty face again once the cold weather's over. And this is how it turned out in real life. You see, I went up there on these daylight panels and then I did my 412 roof down from there. Built it on top of the retaining wall that the homeowner had already poured for us. He's got the downspout drains right there for his gutters. And just the 2x6 fascia there, the sub fascia, the 18-inch overhang, just what he wanted there. We had to go through and cut all this metal right up here on the scaffolding. It wasn't very fun, but it had to be there because we got to get that flashing up in there. Otherwise, this roof wouldn't work. So that took a long time. And once that's in, then we just started running and gunning, put this wall up. And you can see my rafter tells how straight the fascia is. The subfascia straight. It'll just get straighter when he puts the metal on the soffit. Wall's super straight, super level up on top. Retaining wall was not level. There was a hump in it, so I'm glad I took the time to run a laser across there and measure every single stud. You could see how straight that wall turned out. That was worth the time. And then as we go in here, we'll show you the little wedge anchors that we used to hold it down because he didn't have any anchors in it, so we just drilled them in. Big deal. Got the tie downs for the wind up there. Excuse the cough, it's winter. And there we go, just 1 and 2 and 3 4 windows in line there. Just a 2x8 header and then down from there. This is the flashing that he was going to put in, but he didn't want to because he wanted the colored one, so we're going to return that one. And it's great that he had that concrete foundation to frame on top of that. Made my life super easy. And this is how we decided to put that ledger up. We just ripped little spacers of 3/4 inch and put it between every single rib. And what you're not seeing here, you're thinking, oh no, this is just into the sheet metal. That's going to fall off and kill somebody. Well, that's not, because on the other side, this whole building has OSB on it. Okay, he put OSB on the purlins, and then he put the metal, the sheet metal on the building. And so we also came back through here later, as you see in the end of the video, and we put a solid piece of framing all the way through, all the way along the building. So it's all lagged together with the 6-inch timber locks. You just can't see them here because then we came back and we blocked all the rafters. And this little thing needs to get cut out here with the little detail saw, so that when that soffit comes through, that bare wood isn't exposed. And I'm not sure what he's going to do with the ceiling. He could put some decorative stuff there and cover all that, or just leave it. I don't know what he's going to end up doing. But this kept us from cutting into all this metal and putting J-channel, and that's just how we decided to do it. So let me know if you think it's going to work, or if you've ever done one better. Then I want to see some video footage to back it up. I just don't want haters trolling on my channel. I'm not the best carpenter out there, but if you're a better carpenter, then I need to see video footage to back it up. So this is the blocking, just to hold that end rafter up. I just kind of do it like this. It works. And these are my guys that work with me. They're making the magic happen here. I told them it was getting dubbed over, so you can't hear what they're saying. And they're just stapling off the this paper here to keep the water off the roof. That later we'll come back. I don't know if he'll have us do it or if he's going to do it, but somebody's going to put the metal roofing up there. Now, you see what I've done here? We got a beam cage here. This is my beam cage. Because when I go to set this beam on, right here, when I go to set the beam on, whoops, sorry. When I go to set the beam on, I got nothing to set it on. And I got no foundation. And so I made myself a beam cage through here. And then we shoved the beam. We didn't do it all in one piece. We just did it piece by piece. And then it was right there where it needed to be level. And it didn't move because I had braces going this way, braces. I had braces tying all this together. And then we came back and we hung the post. I had marked out where the holes were going to be. And then I hung the post down into the holes, and then we poured concrete around it. So it's just another example of building backwards. If any of you remember my wheelchair ramp video, that's how I did the wheelchair ramp. And it works out great that way because then you don't mess up and put your holes in the wrong spot. So then we put this all on a string line all the way through. We just painted because these are pressure treated, they're going into concrete. And so we said, well, we could put a little bit of tar on there for you. So he's like, sure, why not? It's not going to hurt anything. Maybe it'll keep the posts preserved a little bit longer. So that's what that black stuff is. I don't personally like putting posts in concrete like this, but this is not my building. This is how the owner wants it done. And I'm not going to tell him, no, stop paying me. I'm not going to do it this way. This is how he wanted to do it. And I think this is how old school, they used to do it like this. So that's how he wants it done. And that's how it's getting done. I would like to normally put like the metal brackets into the concrete and keep the posts up out of the concrete. But this way works as well. So for any of my little internet sleuths out there, you see on this end, I had an inch and a half away. On the other end, it was at 0. Well, there was an inch and a half block right here. On the other end, it got knocked out. Okay. So that block is just my offset block. And then that way the posts are not touching the string. That way you can just measure an inch and a half away. So originally there was an inch and a half offset with that whole thing before the concrete was poured. We had braced it so they're not moving when the concrete gets poured. We mixed up all the concrete and we poured it in. And what are we looking at here? We had plenty of room to work. It's nice to work out in the country here. And we just made sure that the concrete right here is lower than what the slab's going to be. He told us where the slab's going to be, so we made sure our concrete was 4 inches lower. And then we just hung over the paper so the wind wouldn't rip it off. And same thing over here, just more ledger detail. Just didn't want to cut into all this metal. And so that's why that ledger got put right there. Blocked all of them in. Cut all the rafters. Just cut every single one to fit because I don't know how straight this pole barn is. And maybe my beam's not 100% straight. So by cutting the rafters in, then I know that they're all going to sit where they should. Had to haul the aggregate back from where we get the aggregate and mix it up with the Portland cement because we don't have enough to call out a truck. So anyway, it's pretty flat roof right there. Worked out nice. That's going to keep the water off for now till we get and you can't see right here, but we do have the flashing up there. And then we'll just there is enough room to get the metal roof panels up under that flashing. This is just showing more of the beam cage. I put all the temporary bracing in and hold those in place so that they're not moving around, and I'm not trying to level posts around in wet concrete. We got them lagged up there with the 4-inch timber locks. And so this shows you how much our little additions have increased the footprint of this building. I don't know if he doubled the square footage of his building or he came close to doubling it, I guess. And then later he wants us to frame this in and the other side too. Really, something really cool is, and some of you might think, who cares about this? Like, who cares? Why are you filming the outhouse? Well, you know that somebody cares about you when they get an outhouse for you and they're not just expecting you to go poop in a tire on the windbreak or hold it all day, you know? So that's just a really good gesture when you show up on a job site and they actually care enough to pay the money for a porta-john. You know, that's right there. That gets us off to a good start with this owner. Any of you else working construction, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to go in their house and ask to use the bathroom. So this just shows you what our little addition is over here. This is how we added onto this pole barn. So we don't have a drone shot, but got enough land here where I can walk around and show you the whole thing. So if any of you want to add onto your pole barn, this is a pretty inexpensive way to do it. I think with all the lumber you're seeing here, everything, all the concrete, everything that you see right here, I think it's under $5,000. That's just materials, of course. Then he has to pay us to put it in, but still, it's a cheap way to add square footage to your pole barn. So if you watch this video and it helps you figure out how to frame it, then you're one step ahead. Now look, this is what I was talking about. I told you that we didn't just lag through into nothing. The whole building has OSB, and then we went back and we put a 2x8 under the 2x6 that he had, and then we locked it all together with this OSB, and then we lagged through it. I don't know if you could see any of those lags coming through, but the timber locks, like I think there's one right there. I don't even know where it is. Anyway, so that's the video. And thank you for watching. And then now you see what it looks like, not just in SketchUp, but in real life. So at this time, I want to look at my channel. And looky there, I've got 299 subscribers. So who's going to be number 300 for me? Go ahead and number 300, say hi to me and tell me your story. So for all the rest of you, thanks for watching and keep tuned. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. Thank you.